And you drag a bloody man and an outsider in here like it's nothing and expect to be all safe? There is no safe. Every sorry bastard out there has been ripped in half.
Hello everyone, my name is Quinn Kuslich and I'm a virtual reality development student and game designer. The purpose of this video is to share my thoughts on the Resident Evil 8 Village demo, which went live on May 1st and will be available until May 8th. For those interested, I have included a link in my description to Capcom's site with information on how to download and play the demo, but I wanted to note a few things before you play it. There are two levels that Capcom is showcasing with this demo, a village section and a later part of the game inside the main castle. Both these levels are great, and overall I enjoyed my time with the demo. I have to recommend that everyone watching this video, Resident Evil fan or not, should take the time to play it. Though I feel the demo represents the game very well, and as a Resident Evil fan, I am very excited to continue on with Ethan's story. As I really enjoyed my time with RE7, I was bummed that I only had 60 minutes to play through both levels. While this left me with ample time to complete both the levels, I would have appreciated an opportunity to go back in and spend some more time on the environments that the developers have created for this game. The game feels like a next-gen title, and the graphics blew me away. I was surprised my computer was even able to run the demo. I mean, the textures alone were amazing. I can only imagine what a painstaking process it was for the developers to optimize this to run as well as it does. I made a point to look at certain objects up close, searching for artifacting or rendering issues, but I couldn't find any. The level of detail and craftsmanship put forward is what I've come to expect from Capcom at this point, given their history. But even with those high expectations, I was still impressed by some of the surfacing work they put into these environments. This stands out to me as a developer because when I am creating an environment, I understand the importance of clear, informed modeling, detail, and texture work. I mean, look at this room and tell me you don't see excellent craftsmanship. I'd also like to take the opportunity to comment on the lighting. In my workflow, lighting is one of the most important features to make a space feel believable. This is how you set the tone and mood for the experience. Every single room in this demo has informed and realistic lighting, letting you know what to expect when you enter a space. One special tidbit I want to point out is how they use lighting in order to direct me, the player, through the level. During the early stages of the castle part of the demo, I walked into the first puzzle room and looked to the left to see a beautifully lit room, which serves as a central hub for the level. It's hard to ignore the chandelier and fire casting light through the space and reflecting beautifully off the various assets in the room. I mean, wow. This game is beautiful, and I can tell that someone cared about this. Like, really cared. And their artistry is on full display. As for gameplay, it's pretty standard. If you've played a Resident Evil game before, you know what to expect. Ethan is slower than your average FPS character, forcing you to be a little bit more cautious during the short combat sections featured within the demo. If the past Resident Evil games taught me anything, it's that you need to conserve your ammo and resources, so I avoided fights out of habit. Though one section pretty much forces you to take out all the enemies before you can safely continue on with the level. I also noticed that this game gave me a lot more ammo than any of the past installments in the series, which I really appreciated in the dungeon section. The enemies you face are these werewolf-looking monsters in the village and cultist variants in the castle section. Fighting them feels a lot like facing the molded from RE7. They are slow-moving and have long attack animations that give you some extra time to get away and avoid damage. This doesn't bother me personally because in a first-person perspective, it's a lot harder to judge the distance between myself and the enemy, so having a little bit more warning before I'm about to be attacked is appreciated. I feel that if the enemies in RE7 and RE8 moved like the enemies in Resident Evil 2 and 3, it would be very challenging to face them without taking a lot more damage. The weapons featured in the demo look great, and have a certain weightiness to them, similar to Resident Evil 7. The reload animations are quick and clean, reducing the urge to turn around and run away from the action when you need to rack a new clip. I think this helps with immersion because I don't really feel a presence when I am constantly forced to run away and reload. I think that RE8 will do a really good job when it comes to keeping that feeling of intensity in combat sections. I think that overall, the gameplay featured in this demo would work really well in VR, and perhaps be more fun if we played it in VR. To highlight the points I'm about to make, I want to target a specific section of the castle demo, that being the dungeon fight scene with the cultist enemies. This was a fight I didn't really expect, as I had only seen one other enemy during the castle level, but I was unpleasantly surprised when I went further into the darkness. I jumped at that noise, and the ensuing fight was nerve-wracking. The enemies cut off my exit, and I was forced to retreat further back into the darkness. I really like these moments because they force me to quickly analyze my surroundings and form a plan of attack. That feeling of calmed panic really carries the user immersion. I feel that this section would be great in VR. Given the slower movement of the enemies and the compressed environment, both qualities of successful combat design when it comes to VR games. And from an optimization standpoint, the darker lighting scheme would allow us to cheese certain details by culling them, helping with latency. and the amount of enemies in play provide the perfect balance of challenging yet manageable. I think that the enemy behavior in general is perfect for VR. They are hard to kill, but give you more time to attack them. They are also scary, and VR horror games are really fun. I feel that we wouldn't even need to change their attack patterns for a VR version, as they give the user plenty of time to reload or move themselves out of the way if they need to, which is important for VR as we don't want our users lunging into a coffee table when a hooded monster swings their sickle too quickly. The castle section of the demo in general is begging to be in VR. Walking through the castle hallways in VR would be so immersive. They have such a strong sense of atmosphere, with muted colors and realistic lighting. I really hope that Capcom sees this and makes my dreams come true, but I don't want them to make it like they made the Resident Evil 7 VR version. That was terrible. Finally, I just want to acknowledge how this game relates to Resident Evil 4. Sharing a similar setting with the castle and village environments, but with noticeably less camp than RE4, I can tell this game takes itself more seriously. But I appreciate these callbacks. Intentional or not, they awaken my nostalgia for the classic. And I can see a clear similarity with the enemies too. We aren't fighting zombies, rather these werewolves that have a very similar attack pattern to the cultists and villagers from RE4, which is being made into a VR title right now. I am so excited for that, and I really want to just release a review. I don't normally review things on my channel, but if it's something that awesome, I have to. And that pretty much wraps up my initial thoughts on the Resident Evil 8 demo. I hope you enjoyed. I plan on making more videos like this in the future to go along with my VR tutorials and game analysis podcasts. So if you're new here, please subscribe and check out some of my other videos. And make sure to download and play the RE8 demo before it's too late. I'm really excited for when this game comes out, even though I won't have the money to buy it and play it on release. Just remember, you only get 60 minutes, so make them count.